Hello, and welcome to Part 4 of the Adult Foster Care Policy, Training and Enforcement Section's video training series on nutrition. In Part 4 of this series, we will discuss food storage and kitchen safety. When preparing meals, it's important to follow simple food prep guidelines to help prevent foodborne illness. We will discuss some simple steps to keep food served to residents safe from the grocery store to the table. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration emphasizes the importance of food safety and lists older adults and anyone with a weakened immune system with an increased risk of contracting a foodborne illness, as well as likely to be ill longer and require hospitalization or death. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 48 million persons, 1 in 6, get ill every year from eating contaminated food. An estimated 128,000 people are hospitalized and 3,000 people die annually. Proper food safety avoids food poisoning, especially in high-risk groups. Symptoms usually appear within 12 to 72 hours, but may occur between 30 minutes and 4 weeks later. Symptoms include abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, headache, body aches, and fever. If you suspect a resident could have a foodborne illness, follow your agency protocol and contact a physician or healthcare provider right away. Here are some quick tips to avoid food poisoning. Avoid choosing bruised, discolored, or cracked fruits. Avoid serving raw or undercooked meat or poultry. Avoid choosing meat, poultry, or seafood in damaged or leaking packaging. Avoid buying eggs with cracked shells or damaged cartons. Use proper refrigeration temperatures and food arrangement in the refrigerator. Avoid overfilling the refrigerator or freezer to ensure proper circulation. Never thaw meat, poultry, or seafood on the counter. Cook foods to proper temperatures. Hold and serve foods at proper temperatures. We will discuss some of these in greater detail in this training. We will start with a few grocery shopping tips and discuss some of them in more detail later in the presentation. Do not purchase canned goods that are dented, leaking, bulging, or rusted. These are the warning signs that dangerous bacteria may be growing in the can. Separate raw meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs from produce and other foods in your grocery shopping cart and in your refrigerator. Place food in plastic bags to prevent their juices, which may contain harmful bacteria, from dripping onto other foods. Buy cold foods last. Plan to drive directly home from the grocery store. You may want to take a cooler with ice or frozen gel packs for perishables. Always refrigerate or freeze perishable food within 2 hours of purchasing. Refrigerate within 1 hour when the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. What is kitchen safety? It is keeping your kitchen accident-free as you cut, slice, mix, stir, pour, or perform other kitchen-related duties. Here are some kitchen safety rules. Keep pot handles turned away from the front to avoid accidentally knocking the pot off the stove. Always have pot holders or oven mitts handy and close by when handling anything on the stovetop or oven. Fill pans no more than 3/4 full to avoid hot liquids boiling over. Also, have a clear path for moving boiling foods to the sink or counter. To avoid cross-contamination, the USDA advises using 2 cutting boards, one for raw meat, poultry, and seafood, and another for fresh fruits and vegetables and bread. Lift and angle hot lids away from you so hot condensation and drips don't splash you. Also, stir hot foods away from you. Use plastic or wooden utensils instead of metal on nonstick pans to keep toxic compounds out of your food. Avoid setting hot glass dishes or lids on a wet or cold surface. The best place to set them is on a trivet, dry cutting board, or pot holder. Now that we've covered the basic kitchen safety rules, here are a few quick rules to playing it safe when it comes to knives. A knife is probably the most important tool in a kitchen, and learning the best way to handle knives is the easiest way to avoid cutting yourself. It might seem paradoxical, but keeping your knives sharp is one of the best ways to avoid cutting yourself. Occasionally sharpen knives to keep them sharp. You apply extra force with a dull knife, which can slip and put you at risk of losing control and cutting yourself. Store your knives safely. Knives should be kept clean and dry in storage, with the blades protected, not loose within a drawer. Don't walk with knives pointing out. Hold it at your side, pointing down, and never run with a knife in your hand. Don't leave a knife dangling over the edge of a cutting board or work surface. Never leave a knife in the sink, particularly with other dishes. Always cut and slice away from your hands and watch your fingertips. If you slip or miss when cutting, you don't want your hand to catch the knife. When mincing, always keep the tip of the knife on the chopping board. When chopping, curl your fingers under and hold the food with your fingertips while using your knuckles to guide the blade. Don't be tempted to lick off any spreads or cream cheese off the knife. It is unsanitary and can severely cut your tongue. Choose the right knife for the task at hand. Using a meat cleaver to peel an apple is not a great idea. Make sure your chopping board is secure. If it doesn't have a grip, put a flat, damp towel underneath when cutting. Never slice anything freehand over the sink. If you cut yourself, quickly wash the cut, apply pressure, raise the cut above your head until the bleeding stops, and then apply antibiotic cream and cover with a bandage. The leading cause of fires and injuries occurs when cooking. According to the National Fire Protection Association, there are roughly 172,000 residential cooking fires in the United States each year. Have a fire extinguisher and know how to use it. Knowing how to use your fire extinguisher in case of an emergency is vital, as there won't be time for reading instructions when a fire starts. It takes only seconds for a fire to get out of control. Learn about different types of fires, such as grease and electric fires. Never put a fire out with water. Smothering the fire by removing air is the best way to put out most fires. Use baking soda or a pan cover. The best way to put out a fire in the oven is with an extinguisher. A microwave fire can be put out by keeping the door closed and turning off the appliance. Water or grease on the floor can cause a slip or fall, and obstacles out of place can cause a person to trip and fall. Any spills should be wiped up immediately to prevent any accidents. The area should be cleaned appropriately, i.e., grease used degreaser after excess is cleaned up. Wear slip-resistant shoes made of materials that protect from hot liquids and fats. Post a wet floor sign when necessary so others coming in know the floor is wet. Keep the walkways open and free of carts, boxes, trash bins, mop buckets, and other obstacles. Close the oven door immediately after inserting or removing food. Stock materials carefully so they do not tip. Use proper tools for the task, stools, stepladder to reach higher shelves, boxes, etc. Keep electrical cords out of the walkway. You never plan to have an accident, but you can plan to prevent one. Falls, burns, cuts, and eye injuries are among the most common injuries in the kitchen. Be prepared for emergencies. If an injury occurs, seek help immediately. Falls. Place a cold compress or ice pack on any bumps or bruises. Let the person rest, as needed, for the next few hours. For the next 24 hours, watch the person closely for any unusual symptoms or behavior. If the person is unable to get up on their own, yell for help or call 911. Burns. Immerse burns in cold water or under running water for at least 10 minutes. Cover the area with clean, dry dressing. Don't apply butter or ointment and don't pop the blisters. Cuts. Clean wound under running water. Control bleeding by applying direct pressure and elevating the injured area. Cover with waterproof dressing. Seek medical attention if stitches needed. Eye injury. Lean over the sink and pour a gentle stream of lukewarm water over the eye. Cover the other eye to protect it. If the eye is still irritated after flushing, seek medical attention. If you cut your eye, don't wash or apply pressure, seek medical attention. If an object is in the eye, don't try to get it out, rub it, or apply pressure. Seek medical attention. Don't hesitate to seek immediate medical assistance if an accident occurs. Follow your agency protocols. Follow your agency protocol for reporting accidents and injuries. Follow 4 simple steps to help keep your residents safer from food poisoning. Clean, separate, cook, and chill. Let's look at each one. The first safe food handling is clean. Wash your hands before and after touching food. Proper hand washing tips. Start with soap and running water and wash the front and back of your hands, between fingers, and under fingernails for at least 20 seconds. Dry with a clean paper towel or cloth. Wash fruits and vegetables under running water without soap. Wash fruits and vegetables even if being peeled. Dry with a paper towel, clean cloth, or salad spinner. Pre-washed produce does not need to be washed. Do not wash raw meat, poultry, seafood, or eggs. Clean your cooking spaces and supplies. Wash your cutting boards, countertops, dishes, and utensils with hot soapy water after each use. Wipe up spills and wash cooking surfaces with paper towels or clean cloths. If using cloths, machine wash them often in hot water. Wash utensils that have touched uncooked meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, or flour before using them with any food that will be eaten raw. Wash plates, cutting boards, and other surfaces that have touched uncooked meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, or flour before using again. The next topic in safe food handling is separate. Prevent cross-contamination. Wash utensils in between cooking with raw meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, flour, and produce that will be eaten raw, if possible. Have designated cutting boards and utensils for cutting and cooking raw meats, poultry, seafood, eggs, and flour, and designated tools for other foods. Prevent cross-contamination. Raw meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs can spread germs to ready-to-eat food unless they are kept separate. Store raw meats, poultry, and seafood in sealed containers or wrap them securely. Raw chicken is ready to cook and doesn't need to be washed first. Washing these foods can spread germs to other foods, the sink, and the counter. Use a food thermometer to ensure that raw meat, poultry, seafood, and egg products are cooked to a safe minimum internal temperature to destroy any harmful bacteria. Use a separate thermometer to ensure safe holding temperatures. Cook meat, poultry, and seafood to a safe minimum internal temperature. Beef, pork, veal, and lamb should reach 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Poultry should reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Ground meats should reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit and fish, and seafood should reach 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Always check the internal food temperature of cooked meat, poultry, and seafood with a food thermometer prior to serving. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, keep meat, poultry, and seafood warm 140 degrees Fahrenheit or above between cooking and serving. Keep cold food 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below between preparing and serving. Leftovers should be placed in shallow containers and refrigerated promptly to allow quick cooling. Freezing does not destroy harmful germs, but it does keep food safe until you can cook it. Never thaw or marinate foods on the counter. The safest way to thaw or marinate meat, poultry, and seafood is in the refrigerator. Use the USDA Food Keeper app to check how long foods can be safely stored. The direct link to this app is located in the information box below this video. Thank you for joining us today to discuss food prep and kitchen safety. To complete the quiz that goes with this presentation, click the link located in the information box below this video. Following these tips and simple rules for food prep and kitchen safety can help ensure food is safe to consume. Our first priority is the care and safety of the residents, so don't hesitate to reach out to your licensing consultant if you have questions.